Hey guys, how's everybody doing? Thanks for being here. I appreciate you guys for being here. Just looking for some more of these. I love these drops. Looks like I'm about out of them though. Neo or Mio. They're called Mio. All right, guys. How's everybody doing today? Let's look at the market, see what's going on. Here we have it. Looks like the NASDAQ's not. It's up 2.3%, but it looks like it made all that in the first hour and it's gone straight sideways since then. ES is up almost 2%. It's come down a little bit since the initial push at 8:30, that initial push, it came back a little bit. That's to be expected. Look at Bitcoin up 2.75%. Bitcoin just taking off. Just taking off. Wonder if we'll make a new high in Bitcoin. I think last week one of the morning show trades of the day or something was a new high in Bitcoin, and stupidly, or maybe not, I did it myself and I bid. Hopefully it'll come true. We'll look at that in a second. 10 years also going up, which is somewhat concerning. We like to see this not go up. Look at freaking AMD up 8%. That's crazy. All right, well, that's a great day. Let's check out the model portfolio. Now, here's the model weightings, so more than 12. Altis more than 25. GPTY is 23. Anyway, all right, but let's look at the daily results, and this takes into account the weightings. I mean, it's the weightings. So if I have 25% of something, it's 25% times whatever the company's actually up or down, the ETF. So in ULTY's case, you can see I have about 25% of that in my portfolio, and it's making me 64 basis points. That means ULTY is really up like 2.5 points or something. And that's incredible. Great day for ULTY, great day for GPTY. GDXY is pulling back a little bit, as is YQQQ. That's fine. Now look at LFGY, just killing it, up 13 basis points. I like to see that. Look at YSPY up 5 basis points. Heck yeah. Great job. If you look over here at the right, it's the bottom line. I probably should have made the bottom line on the left, but the model portfolio is up 89 basis points. It's barely even down. It's barely even down. It was down 3% this morning since inception. So it's about 7 months old now. So anyway, it's not great, but it's been a lot worse. But the benchmark in the same period of time, meaning over the course of a day, is outperforming the model portfolio just a little bit. All right, so we have some trades here. Let's look at maybe some of these trades. See if anyone's here. I didn't pre-publicize this. No one's even here. Wow, that's weird. I would usually, because I usually pre-publicize it, so it's not all that weird. Anyway, someone will probably watch it later. All right, so let's look at some other stuff. Let's look at the max factor. Hopefully people will join. Okay, I've been telling people, if you don't want to wait for the update, you can go to maxconvexity.eagon. That's actually a token on the Cardano blockchain. Eagon is, but in any event, and you can check out the max factor, the buffer portfolio, or the buffer report. Not the buffer report's not up yet, but you can check out, for instance, the max factor. Well, during the day, sometimes the one that's in second place grows. It is actually ahead of the one that's in first place, or vice versa. I don't know how to keep them auto sorted yet, but anyway, those are the ones that are the best, that, in my opinion, offer the best mix of factors right now. These are the best of the high yield portfolios of the 80 or so that I study, that we track on a daily basis. Right now, PLTW, MSFY, NFLP, MSFO. But let's just go. We could just go look at it here. I think if I'll sort the column here, then it should fix it even on the website. Well, maybe not. I'm still working on that. But in any event, if you guys are interested, you can follow along live. I just show the best 20 or something at any given time. All right. But that chart is derived from this spreadsheet where we look at everything. This is, look at this database. This database has, I've been doing this more than a year. It has 82 entries. These are all the ETFs we follow. We even follow stuff like O, which is a boring REIT, but I use it for comparison purposes. Or sometimes REITs can be good, but I track everything from triple QI to SVOL to SMCY. So if anything starts behaving particularly well, it shows up on the screen in the top 20. You know, you can, and we look at those every day. So anyway, all right, that's the max factor. We've already looked at the model portfolio. Let's look at the premium collection report. All right, let's see how much premium all the different funds captured. Daily net premium report. $255. I don't know if anyone's watching yet, but I don't guess there's any trades anyone wants to see before the end of the day. There's not really any earnings this week. Like, I think next week Nike has earnings. All right. Look at ULTY making $5 million or selling $5 million worth of premium. Maybe we'll just look at that. I like looking at ULTY. Let's zoom in on one of those trades and see how the trade itself worked out today. We could look at any of these that you guys are interested in. I like to try to look at different ones, but I know there's a lot of people that like ULTY. I like ULTY. I'm kind of interested in this thing that ULTY is using for a hedge. Do any of you guys use this micro Bitcoin? You could do it on Tasty Trade. It's a futures. It's a commodity, I think. Or wait, it's LFGY. I'm sorry. It's forget about ULTY. We're going to look at LFGY now. Let's go to LFGY. So LFGY has this thing called MRBTX or some weird thing. You guys, I showed it to you guys yesterday. Yeah, there it is. MBTXW. And I think the W is not part of the symbol. I think it's MBTX, which stands for micro Bitcoin. Any event, they use this as a hedge. They're buying a put spread on it. I just didn't know if anyone was using that thing. MBTX. Let's kind of look at that while we're waiting for other people to get here. MBTX. I usually post the live stream in Discord like an hour before. I forgot to do that today. I was doing other stuff and time's flying by. Man, I like to look at this thing. Had this micro Bitcoin index, CBOE micro Bitcoin. Maybe I need to start trading this. How liquid is this thing? So MBTX. I like IBIT. There's the IBIT trade that I did in real life. Or I did something similar. We were talking about it. So let's look here in BTX. Let's see if we can sell puts on it and make any money. So it's just MBT. MBTX as well. CGI. Well, okay, it's a futures and it's an index, but they're probably selling. Okay, yeah, futures. Okay, so June. So let's go back here. What was the date on those things? They're probably using futures options is what I'm thinking. But let's just go look. We could monitor that. They bought the 230, sold the 150. And they went out to the December 12/31. Okay. All right. So it's kind of like a long-term hedge. The prices aren't right, so I think it's going to be that other one, the one that's the one that's this one, the index. Maybe there's somebody that has, yeah, I guess they trade options on the index. Look, so going out to December, learn something new every day. I wonder why they use this and not IBIT, and that would be a great question to ask Jay. All right, so they bought the 230. What they do? They bought the 230 and sold the something. Gosh, yeah, 230.150 for December. All right. So let's see what they did. You could even do that today. It's not a. I mean. It cost about a third of the width between the strikes. I mean, anyway, all right. Well, you could see here, this just, but no, wait a second. They did the opposite. They did the opposite trade. They did this trade. They bought this one and sold this one. Okay. Now that makes a lot of sense there. If you have some kind of big Bitcoin crash, over, and this goes out till, well, actually, it was December. It wasn't January of 26. It was this one. Okay, 231.50. And this will protect you. And it doesn't even have to look. Bitcoin's so volatile, or this index is so volatile. The one standard deviation move is down 36%. Let's look at this. It's only a 48 delta on that put we're buying, but we're selling this put. It's like at 63 delta. Taking advantage of the skew right there. Because there's more skew in the out of the money's more expensive, but we're buying in this case, we're taking advantage of the skew. All right, well, we'll save that trade and look at that. That's a good like black swan for Bitcoin. It would have to drop quite, Bitcoin would have to drop quite a bit for that to come in handy. But we'll just save it as LFGY's hedge. I just didn't, I didn't save it. Anyway, it's whatever. I just didn't really realize, let's see if we could trade anything weekly. Could you, like if you're bullish on Bitcoin, could we sell a put spread on that thing? I'm just curious. So it expires the 20th in the morning. And sometimes, so that's Friday morning. So if you just wanted to do a little short-term play, I'm just trying to see if it's liquid. This one's bid at 0, asked at 770. So I guess it's not particularly liquid. Here's an at the money put. Bid at 1, asked at 11. So yeah, I'd say IBIT. Somebody's bullish on Bitcoin. You could play it through IBIT. This one's bid at 173, asked at 179. There's only 65 volume, but there's 5,100 contracts. You're going to be able to get something done in that one at a better price. If you're bullish, and if you're bullish, something like this might Might could work. Who knows? Who knows? Just selling puts, whatever. Just want the stock to go up or stay the same. Preferably go up. All right. Well, let's see if there's any of you guys here. There's 2 of you guys here. Well, that's cool. I appreciate that. I'm glad there's other people here. Okay, so I wanted to look at some other stuff here. Here's Ethan's asking me about Boeing. He's asking me privately. He probably, but anyway, we can talk about that publicly. I can do a ticker thing if you guys want to see that. Anyway, okay, for now, I want to look at the old-fashioned buffer report and just see kind of what was moving. I just can't believe old AMD was just killing it today. So we'll look at the old-fashioned buffer report. Maybe more people will join in a little bit. Next time I need to publicize it ahead of time, and everyone's busy and stuff. That's fine. All right. Boy, SDTY had a heck of a good day. I like to see that, because they're competing with Round Hill. And Round Hill is really tough. As you guys know, look at this. Feed and 5E are up. Now, feed and 5E are concentrated, but on big up days, concentration really helps. Big down days, it hurts, but this is an example. This is helping them. I bet SVOL, I wouldn't be surprised if SVOL was up just because it's lately been, VYLD. That's something we don't talk about, but we need to check in on that. I'm going to swerve over into that lane here in a little bit. Look, SVOL, for whatever reason, is actually down a little bit today. Maybe they stopped using so much leverage on the upside. Well, ULTY just had it. ULTY would be the fund of the day, up 2.6%. Remember when I did that math in my head real quick? I said 2.4%. It's 2.6. But since I literally get credit for 25% of that in my income portfolio because it makes up 25% of my portfolio. But so if they're up 2%, I get a half of that. I get a 0.5%, which is a quarter of that. But also I had some GPTY, which was one of the other ones that's up the most. I feel good about my bull market funds. I get GPTY, LFGY, ULTY. When the market's rip roaring, they do great. And I feel pretty good about when the market's going the other way, the GDXY and YQQQ, they do a decent job cutting the downside out of it. Okay, so let's swerve over into this lane. VYLD, I just absolutely loved this strategy. I made a video on it, but there just wasn't that much information out at the time. So let's go to FinViz. I'll wait to talk about the Ethan's until he's here because he wants to hear it. So BYLD, if he was here, he would have already posted in the comments, right? Okay, there wasn't enough data, so VYLD. Okay, I'm starting to remember now. I can tell you guys about that. This is a growth fund. They short volatility, similar to the way SVOL does it, but SVOL shorts volatility and pays a monthly dividend. These guys don't pay any dividend. They're short volatility, which is another way of saying going long the market. They're making bullish bets on the market. A bullish bet on the market is the same thing as a short bet in the volatility market. It's a similar strategy, let's just say. Well, anyway, I'd have to say it's not doing great so far because if I wanted, I've often wondered why they don't come out with a fund instead of Yield Max. Why don't they come out with one called Return Max? I guess I'm going to have to do it. But you could still use options, and I would. I would use options in such a way to maximize the return and don't pay people a dividend. Put it in there. Just advertise. You get a once a year a dividend at the end, a special dividend at the end of year. Sometimes, if there's anything to give out, but it's not an income fund. You would make money from options, and you would use the money made from options to either to buy hedges or anyway. But they can make one. So I would think though, if you made maybe just a fund that sold covered calls in the SPX and maybe bought leaps, going out a year, spent half of the money half of the yield that came from the premium, recycled it into leaps a year out. So if the market's going good, those leaps that you're buying a year out with half of the dividend all year long will do well. Then you could spend the other half of the money on a put, some type of hedge maybe or something. Anyway, and then try to cut out the black swans and just try to, But anyway, so what I'm saying, if this I'm just not that impressed that this thing only went from 21 to 24 and it didn't even pay a dividend. I could see that if it's paying dividends the whole time. The dividend is what keeps the price from just not going up and to the right at all times. I mean, it's because these things pay, a huge dividend. But this thing doesn't have that excuse. So anyway, we'll keep an eye on it. I was just hoping it would do. I was just hoping it'd do better. Let's look at the assets under management. It's bleeding. Looks like it's bleeding assets. That's insider trading volume, but that's not what I wanted to look at. But anyway, it's probably too new to even have. It doesn't even say assets under management. It's anyway. All right, but they really had an interesting strategy, and I was really hoping that it would be great if somebody would make a fund that used options but didn't just bleed all the NAV away, made a return fund. I just call, instead of yield max, I just call it return monster or something. Or you call it return monster and you could sell premium in it. You could just put all the premium into calls a year out, leap calls a year out. All the premium that you get. So in years that the market goes up, you do really well. I don't know why somebody hasn't done that yet. Just call it return max. It's kind of the same thing that TQQQ is doing. It's giving you triple the daily results. You can do it that way too. But anyway, Prospectus. Well, VY. I was trying to pull up the site or something on that, but whose product is that? Is it a JP VYLD? It's an ETN. Those things I just don't know very much about those. VYLD ETF. You would think it'd be Vanguard because it's V, but then I think we talked about that last time and it wasn't. It was somebody that wasn't Vanguard. Well, their SEO sucks. Why should I should be able to? It should. Anyway, I like the idea of what they're doing. I forget what it was. They were shorting volatility with a part of the portfolio. Anyway, it was a cool idea. I guess they're saying it's JP Morgan. And they're comparing it to other assets. They're comparing it to SFOL. And SFOL is a fair comparison. And also SVIX. There's also one called UVIX. All right, let's see what else we have to look at. Oh, yeah, GPTY verse. Let's look at the index buffer report. I mean, this is the index buffer report. Let's look at the yield max buffer report. AMD just had an amazing day, and Coney, Coinbase, AMD. YBIT almost outperformed the parent asset. Alti did outperform the parent. as did OARC. And Ethan was asking me about OARC yesterday, and I kind of blew it off. I didn't really have anything to add to the conversation. Man, that's incredible. What does he know? Is there something going on with OARC? Is it a meme stock now? Or, I mean, it's always kind of been meme adjacent because it's Kathy. Abney looks really good. It's just a great day to be in the market. This is an old ULTY grid, but let's just pull it up. It probably still close. I mean, wow, look at this. The average stock, they're saying 3.7 on this one. Is that that's incredible. All right, let's look at LFGY. I have an old LFGY up here. It's up 1.8. Average stock is up 3.6. You can see nothing's down. Opera and MicroStrategies are down just a teeny little bit. GPTY. I mean, Oracle's the only thing that's hurting it at all. Just killing it. Chippy, why don't I have Chippy? I need to get some Chippy. There's Chippy up 2.5. Average stocks up 3.3, and literally nothing's down. Like I say, this is like a few weeks ago, so something may be down in the latest iteration of Chippy, but largely I bet most of those same stocks are still in the portfolio. So it is a great day to be Chippy, right? Because of course AMD's a chip stock. Great day to be Chippy. Great day to be Chippy. Okay, let's look at some option trades. All right, convexity spread. This is a bullish play for next Friday. I did this Friday at the end of the day. It's one of the trades of the day or whatever. I just kind of made it up. I've actually never seen it in a book. All it is a call spread. We're buying a call for $300 and selling a call for $200. So it's going to cost us about $100. It should cost us about $100. But we're going out, and instead of costing $100, we're adding an extra $12 to that, or an extra $25 to that, and buying a couple of out of the money options. So what it is it's what we're going for is we want prices to go up, at least a little bit. And if they do, trade costs $93 to put on. And if it does go up a little bit, you'll get your money back basically. But this is playing for a big move in the market. Not just a 1 standard deviation move, just a cheap way to go for a 2 standard deviation move. I was just trying to see how cheaply we could buy premium out here on the wing, and if it even makes sense. And I don't know if it does. We're just keeping an eye on this trade. The only thing I like about it is it doesn't lose too much money. And I tried it in real life too. I like the looks of it. So I think there's a chance the market might blow up this week. Up that way, might melt up for another week. But we'll see. We'll see. The morning show, this one for Tesla, the morning show trade does not look good. Let's take a look at it. It's a bullish trade, but this one still could work. Because right here, you could see this hash mark right there. That's a 1 standard deviation move. And that's usually just a little bit past the market maker expected move. So the market maker expected move, I bet you, is about 345. In fact, we could look. Shoot, I put oh gosh. We'll look some other time. But this, what I was going up for on this one is just a cheap way to play for higher prices in Tesla. And I was thinking 350, 360, 370. So what happened with that? What's going on? How did we miss that one? I didn't do that in real life. I don't, but I did that convexity spread and it's working out. All right, come on, Tesla. Well, it is going the right direction, and it finally got over its 20-period moving average. If it just stays above the moving average, it should be good, right? The longer-term moving average, the 50-period moving average, is red because they're underneath it. But also it's sloped the wrong way. The longer one will turn green when it starts sloping up. When they're both greens, the shorter term moving average started turn green back here. When they both turn green, that's a good momentum sign. You can see the last time they were both green back here, green. Then usually the faster one turns red first, and that's a sign the momentum's shifting. But anyway, all right, we just need higher prices on Tesla. I think we were going for a new high is the idea of the trade. So we were going for like 360, but even if it got to 350, you should do all right. So anyway, if anyone has that trade on, it's not the worst looking one. Not the worst looking one, because what you're going for is that we go in here to get in here to hopefully at least by Thursday, you can get a price of at least 345. And that's $322. If it goes further than that, that's kind of what the trade was aiming for, is the new high area. So if it does get a new high and you did this trade, you would be rewarded handsomely for it. Let's see what else is going on. I'm trying to think if there's any of these that we wanted to look at. Yeah, this is the one I was talking about with IBIT. It plays for a new high in the next 3 weeks. I think that was the trade maybe 2 weeks ago. We talked about it during the pullback or something. But anyway, so this one right here is different than the Tesla trade. The Tesla trade is playing a pullback. The Tesla trade is trying to load up, where if you can just get a little move, you can make a lot of money. This one is foregoing the little move. If you just make a little move, you aren't going to make that much. This one is it's going for the big move. And but in other words, the real reward on this one happens if it moves beyond the first standard deviation. And you can see right here, that's when the bonus time kicks in, or whatever you want to call it. 84%, 83% of the time of occurrences are going to happen on the other side of that. So it's not this, you aren't going to get your bonus time. That just happened 17% of the occurrences. But I think that trade's probably going to work out. So, and that trade expires in a little less than 2 weeks. Not this Friday, but the next Friday after that. I'll keep you posted on that one. But that was a good looking trade. That was a good looking trade. All right. Other than that, I don't think I have anything to show you guys. Hey, what's up, Michael Anthony? Do I think GME's going back up? Well, I don't know. But I mean, I like this. I was looking at it today and I was thinking about getting some, but it's weird. But I was going to do some kind of thing where I sell puts in it to buy a call and try to get some premium, kind of like that last trade. Yeah, the Tesla trade's probably over. I got you. Yeah, I got you on all that. I got you. At the time, we didn't know that, but you never. I mean, Pfizer crushed last earnings at 92 cents. It was at 26 cents beat. So, Michael, do you like those? Big pharmaceutical stocks, or do you like? Are you on in Pfizer? Don't they have pretty nice dividends and stuff? Or they're mainly growth. Some of those probably have dividends, but what's PED? I've never even heard that. It's an oil company with no debt. Okay, we'll look at it real quick. I appreciate you for asking the question, Michael. Thank you. So, Pedvefco. I hit screener. I didn't mean to hit screener. All right. Yeah, right here, sells dividend. I was going to say you can see where it has no debt. Yeah, there it is. Debt to equity 0. Long-term debt to equity. Not that I didn't believe you. I was trying to show people you can. FinViz just is just a wealth of information. Wow, what happened here? Did it? What's the news down here? It's to participate in the Louisiana Energy Conference. Oh, they had earnings. Yeah, you probably mentioned that in the thing. I'm sorry. All right. Well, do they have options? Well, the problem is it's only 80 cents, 69 cents. I don't buy stocks that are under $1. Anyway, but I don't have all the answers. But yeah, I just don't. I don't even like stocks that don't have listed options. In fact, I don't even like stocks. I won't even mess with stocks that don't have weekly options. And that's not really totally true, but it's kind of true. Anyway, but yeah, that's good information there. Michael, it's P around 3, which is cheap. Yeah. I mean, heck, that's the one thing. Those stocks that are 69 cents or $1 or whatever, they're like an option because they're the same price as an option. So, yeah, teach his own. I just like the stocks that are when a stock gets to a bigger level, when it just reaches a critical mass where it gets put on an index. And I like the stocks that are at least on the Russell or on the S&P or something like that. But I've had friends that have done well in the smaller stocks. It's just not for me. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate y'all for being here. I'm going to let you go. I got other stuff to do. I have some projects going on in the house. The market's melting up. Everything's going well right now. So I know what I need to do. I just remembered I need to go check on my AIs. Now that it's the end of the day, I need to see if they're able to do all this stuff. My AI agents are supposed to be doing stuff at the end of every day. So I need to get on top of that. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate y'all for being here and join the Discord. If there's anything we forgot to talk about, hit me up in Discord, and maybe I'll have a late night with Max and Jax later or something. All right, guys. Have a great day. See you later. See ya.